Welcome to this workshop on SEN support. This workshop is designed and delivered by the Bradford SENDIAS team. By the end of this workshop, you will have a better understanding of what the SENDIAS service is and what we do. You will have gained knowledge of the levels of SEN support and the school provision, and you will have gained knowledge of basic legislation and terms that apply to SEN support. So let's start with SENDIAS. Bradford SENDIAS offers impartial information, advice and support to families of children and young people with special educational needs or disabilities in the Bradford area. We support parents or carers and young people. The service is impartial, confidential, statutory, free and can help with a range of subjects. Here you can see the types of support that Bradford SENDIAS can provide. We have exclusion, transport, SEN support, provision, admissions, annual reviews and EHCPs. So how can we help within these topics? We will provide you with the impartial information and advice on the topics we just looked at. We can explain the legal framework around SEND, including rights and responsibilities. We can explain local and national SEND processes, including appeals. We can help you to make informed decisions and help you plan your next steps. We can signpost you to other specialised services for further information or support. We often provide training workshops on SEND topics. We can help you and your child or young person to contribute to decision making and have your voice heard through providing accurate information. We also help by liaising across a range of agencies to provide person-centred support. Jargon Buster. See if you can match up the list on the left to the definitions on the right. Pause here, you might want to write them down and then we'll go through them together. Okay, let's go through them. MSP is My Support Plan. SEN is Special Educational Needs. EHCPA, Education, Health and Care Plan or Assessment. SEN Register, a register in which school will place your child on to ensure their needs can be met and their provision is monitored. COP, Code of Practice. IEP or ILP, Individual Educational Learning Plan. SENCO, this is a person in school called a Special Educational Needs Coordinator. QFT is Quality First Teaching offered by school. Differentiate are ways a child's learning can be adapted to meet their needs, and the graduated approach are steps that can be taken to meet your child's needs. SEN support in school. Most children with special educational needs go to a mainstream school. The law says that schools must do everything they can to make sure that children with SEN get the extra support that they need to achieve as well as they can. Mainstream schools do this through a system called SEN support. The school must publish information about how they support pupils with SEN. It must also have a policy setting out how it supports disabled pupils to be included in school activities. Support in school. Every mainstream school has a Special Educational Needs Coordinator, also known as a SENCO. This person is responsible for organising extra help for pupils with special educational needs. The SENCO works with the class teachers and subject teachers to plan out the help that each child needs. The school must tell you if they are giving your child this extra help. They should work with you and your child to plan their support and regularly check how your child is progressing. The SEN Code of Practice is statutory guidance which sets out the duties, policies and procedures that local authorities, head teachers, early years providers, SENCOs and others as listed in the code must have regard to this guidance and they cannot ignore it. Within the SEN Code of Practice, it states that schools should use a graduated approach, and this is a 4-part cycle: assess, plan, do and review, and this is to support your child with SEN. This means that the SENCO and the teaching staff should assess your child's difficulties, identify extra support your child needs, put that support into place, regularly check how well it is working so that they can change the amount or the kind of support if they need to, and they should refer to additional services for further support. There are different levels of support. Those working at or above age-related expectations may not require any extra support and can access the learning independently. Quality first teaching is the first step a teacher will take to identify the pupil's individual need. The teacher may have noticed a gap in the learning, or they may feel additional support or resources need to be provided in the classroom to support the child's progress. If, as a parent, you have concerns, you should start by making contact with your child's teacher, where you will be able to discuss these concerns. The next stage is SEN support. This stage is where the child will access additional support and targeted interventions to help them to make progress. SEN Support Plus is where a child has access to a greater number of interventions. These can be one-to-one or small group work. The child will have an individual provision plan, or sometimes called a My Support plan. A child with an EHCP usually has a greater level of SEND. They have been recognised as needing a greater level of support to continue to progress in a mainstream school. EHCP Plus is where the child attends a more specialist provision to meet their individual needs and have access to specialised trained teachers. Education, Health and Care Plans, also known as EHCPs. Some children and young people may not make expected progress despite the various provisions schools can put in place. In this case, schools or parents should consider requesting an Education Health Care Needs Assessment. This assessment involves gathering information from the relevant people or agencies, including the views, interests and aspirations of the parents and child or young person. The assessment will help determine whether additional provision is needed through an EHCP. This is a legal document and can last from birth to 25. It should list what provision is needed to meet your child's SEN. You need to think about your child's hopes and dreams now and long term for their education. You should encourage your child to be involved in their education and the processes involved throughout this. And don't be afraid to ask for support and advice. There's plenty of people who are happy to help. You can find support and resources on a local basis and nationally. Here are just a few for you to explore. Bernardo's Sendias, check out our Facebook and Twitter page. There is the Parents Forum, Bradford and Airedale, the Bradford Local Offer, Bradford SEN Team and the Aware Group. And nationally, you can look at the IPSI website, Contact a Family or the Council for Disabled Children. If you require support from our Sendias service, parents can self-refer by contacting Bernardo's on 01274 513 300. Our admin team will take details of the inquiry. A duty worker will then contact the parent to provide advice and support. You can also contact us via our Facebook or Twitter page or via our website. Professionals such as schools, health professionals or social care professionals can also refer into our service on the behalf of parents.